it's one of those things, man, where, they could ultimately, they being the Seattle Seahawks, they could ultimately franchise Russell Wilson for a couple years in a row. Now, they might end up spending a whole lot more money if they did that versus going ahead and working out a deal. But that is very possible. Now, according to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, Wilson has backed away from an offer, as I just mentioned, worth nearly $21 million. He wants to have top five money, and when you look at the top tier quarterbacks, when you talk about salaries go, it's Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers, $22 million a year. He signed a 5-year, $110 million deal. Ben Roethlisberger is right at $21.85 million, a 4-year deal worth $87 million. Cam just recently signed his deal, $20.76 million. That was a 5-year deal worth $103.8 million. And then Matt Ryan here in Atlanta, $20.75 million a year, a 5-year deal worth a total of $103,075,000. And so this deal that the Seahawks actually have on the table for Russell Wilson is about $31 million short of what Cam Newton received up front, and $30 million, that Matt Ryan received fully guaranteed in the first year of his salary. So there are definitely a breakdown in communication from the financial standpoint, if you will. And, the God honest truth is, if I'm Russell Wilson, I could play this year and make, $1 million, because, not even $1 million. Well, I gave the number last week. It's like $786,000 is what he'll make. Or you could sign this deal, and if I'm not mistaken, this deal goes into effect immediately. You go from just being a baller on the field to a baller at the bank. I mean, take your time, young man. That's what Mama used to say. Take your time. But they also say steady long, steady wrong. Now, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks will go back down off the money. But I think if there is a deal that is on the table right now, if something can be worked out, I think you need to go ahead and jump on that, man. I mean, who am I though? I'm saying I would jump on what they offering right now if I was him, but I'm not him. I mean, he know what he's worth. I mean, and I feel like as a quarterback in the National Football League that a lot of people like to call him a game manager, but I consider him to be much more than a game manager. So for somebody like a Russell Wilson that's been to back-to-back Super Bowls, he was like a yard away from winning back-to-back Super Bowls. I mean, you do something. DUE. You do something. And I know that Seattle, wants to be able to give him a fair deal, but still be able to have money to be able to make other moves or whatnot. I get it. But he's do something. And the God honest truth is, when I look at this list, Aaron Rodgers has a ring, Ben Roethlisberger has a ring. Okay? So I'll just eliminate them. Cam, been around for a minute. Maddie, been around for a minute. But neither one of these dudes has sniffed the Super Bowl. And so if you go look at it from that standpoint, from a performance standpoint, if that's how you want to look at it, then there's nobody that's due to make, $22 million or up other than Russell Westbrook. I mean, he should be in this same company with Aaron Rodgers if you're going to do it from a performance standpoint. I mean, but the bottom line is at some point the man's going to have to get paid. There's no way. If I'm Russell Wilson, okay, and I know my worth, there's no way that I go into camp. And this is not to diss Tavares Jackson, because if you know me or if you've ever heard this or if this is your first time listening, I am a proud Hornet of Alabama State University. And so is T-Jax. So I'm not going to backhand insult him, but T-Jax is Russell Wilson's his backup, right? Russell Wilson. He's Russell Wilson's backup, right? Yeah. So there's no way that I'll go into camp and my backup is making double what I'm making, and I'm not even making $1 million. T-Jax just got a new deal, 1.5 a year. I think this thing is going to get done. I mean, Russell Wilson, from what I read, he has actually set a deadline for later this week. Like, either you're going to get the deal done, we're going to get the guaranteed money right, or I'm just going to play out the last year of this deal, and then we can sit down after the season or at some point in the middle of the season, however he wants to do it. I mean, the ball is in his court. That's for sure. It's definitely in his court. I don't know. Yeah, I might be, I don't know. I might be one of these cats that say, okay, can we meet halfway? Unless this is based on performance. And again, if this is based on performance, nobody deserves more bread at this moment than Russell Wilson. All right, but switching gears, Junior Gillette. A few weeks ago on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Sports Kings Live, we posted a video of somebody that was supposed to be Junior out at the beach. And he gets into it with a female, and he pulls his belt off, and he starts swinging his belt. Like, at everybody that's coming at him, he's just like swinging his belt. Swinging. And then, of course, when he was called out about it, he said that it wasn't him. Well, long story short, Junior Gillette got cut by the Saints. And I have to think that this had something to do with it, the video. I mean, he was the Saints sack leader last season, so it wasn't from a performance standpoint. But Junior Gillette, being a man's man, everybody in the NFL is a man's man, right? Or so you think. Like, they're macho, man. They, stand up and say what they have to say, not behind anybody, not beside anybody, but they stand out in front and say what they have to say, because that's what real men do, right? Well, Junior Gillette, now after he was cut by the Saints, now I'm not going to say he Junior, but I have the rabbit ears up. Someone went on Twitter and blasted the Saints, few of the players, few of the coaches. And what the media is saying is that it was actually Junior venting or snapping, if you will, via his girlfriend's Twitter account. Ooh, Junior's big and bad. He goes on his girlfriend's Twitter and starts talking trash. Come on, Junior. And this was his comment. I don't even have a Twitter. Okay, see, listen to this. I don't even have a Twitter. I haven't used it since January. Can we say that again? I don't even have a Twitter. I haven't used it since January. Neither does my girlfriend. And that was what Gillette told Nick Underhill of the New Orleans Advocate. Come on, Junior. Be a man. If you got something to say, if you want to say it, if you feel like you were done wrong by the Saints, say it. But why would you go on Twitter, on your girlfriend's Twitter page, and start ranting like it's her, as if nobody knows who your girlfriend is? Now, I don't know who your girlfriend is, but I have to guess that the people that came forward with the story that it was via your girlfriend's Twitter, I would have to think they know who your girlfriend is, right? This is unbelievable. But if you haven't seen that video, go to Facebook, Sports Kings Live, and check out the video. I mean, this dude is whipping butt with this belt. Now, I don't really know what you could charge somebody with. I mean, is that battery if you get whipped with a belt? If you hitting a woman with, is that domestic violence if it's with a belt? I'm just asking. Unbelievable. Junior Gillette, ladies and gentlemen. Pootie Tang, live in the flesh. Pootie Tang, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so what time is it? Okay, so we have about 4 minutes left in this segment. So right now, I think that it's time for us to go back and look at the what happened on this day in sports. Of course, that's what we call this is a terrible setup on this day.
And now, the Sports Kings take a look back on this day.
All right, in 1984, Pete Rose passed Ty Cobb's record for most singles in a career when he got his 3,503rd base hit. In 1986, Greg LeMond of the U.S. became the first non-European to capture the Tour de France cycling race. In 1992, I remember this like it was yesterday. Boston Celtics star Reggie Lewis died after collapsing on the Brandeis University basketball court during practice. He was only 27 years young. In 1996, of course, this is another one I remember. At the Atlanta Olympics, a pipe bomb exploded at Centennial Park. One person was killed and more than 100 were injured. That guy that committed that heinous crime, his name was Eric Robert Rudolph. And I can't think of there was actually a security guard that many had accused of setting that pipe bomb off because of like some video that showed him near the garbage can or whatnot. But come to find out, he had nothing to do with it. And if I'm not mistaken, this dude ended up, I want to say he ended up getting cancer and dying. I think he's dead now. But Eric Robert Rudolph is somewhere in jail, in some maximum security prison, because in addition to the Centennial Olympic Park bombing, he also was found guilty of sending pipe bombs to different judges in the state of Alabama that were for abortion. He also sent several pipe bombs or a few pipe bombs to abortion clinics that exploded, and if I'm not mistaken, some people were killed. So that was huge back in 1996. Also in 1996, Canadian Donovan Bailey ran the men's 100-meter dash in a time of 9.84 seconds. The previous record was 9.85 seconds, held by Leroy Burrell of the United States. In 2001, prime time, Deion Sanders announced his retirement from the NFL, but of course, he ended up coming back and playing for the Baltimore Ravens a few years later. And in 2003, Lance Armstrong won his 5th consecutive Tour de France. And that was on this day, July 27th. And this is July 27th, 2015. Coming up in the next segment, D. Orlando Ledbetter of the AJC. Nobody knows these Atlanta Falcons from a media perspective like D. Orlando, and he's going to give us some insight. I'm going to answer some questions, some burning questions that I've had, because I haven't talked to D since Dan Quinn was hired by the Atlanta Falcons. Actually, I haven't talked to D. It's been a minute. You know, because I haven't been doing this mainstream sports thing since, Super Bowl of 2014, other than, just some sports updates that I was doing on the radio. But as far as a full sports formatted show, I mean, I've been doing a HBCU sports show, which is near and dear to me. But yeah, I haven't even had any reason to talk Atlanta Falcons. But D. Orlando Ledbetter is going to join the show coming up in the next segment. Also, before we go, I have some words about this Junior Seau situation that's not going to take place at his enshrinement or the enshrinement of the class of 20.